Hello kiddos, good morning. I hope you guys are doing fine. Today, our lesson of the day is how to put information from a chart and write it on a line plot. Okay, so what we're doing is using the information they give us right here and we're going to place it right here. After that, we're going to be answering some questions about the same information on the chart. So let's get started. Okay. The problem says, Mrs. Wasey's class grows beans for a science experiment. The students measured the heights of their beans plants to the nearest 1/4 inch and record the measurements as shown below. So somebody put some seeds on the soil and they are waiting for the seeds to germinate, and the seeds already germinated, and this is how big or tall the plants are getting. And they measure in inches, okay? That's the measuring they are using. So let's see what we have first. The first thing that we have right here, letter A, it says use the data to complete the line plot. So using this data, all these numbers, we're going to be placing them. But first we have to determine or decide some things. Okay, let's get started with the name of our line plot or a number line. So if we're saying that this is the title of the chart, probably this is the same title that we want to put right here, correct? Because the information is basically about the same thing. So we're going to write heights of bean plants. Okay, that's the name of my line plot. And now, on this is not hard. You just have to be careful with the things that you already put on the line plot. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so from here, let's see, the line plot has from 1 3/4 all the way to 3/4 and 1/4. Okay, it's important to know that why do you think they started the line plot with 1 3/4? Because it's the smallest number that we have. And the 3 and 1/4 is the biggest number. So among all these numbers here in this chart, this is the smallest number and this is the highest number, okay? So if you were to do your own line plot, that's what you do first. You have to check on all the information you have and you have to place the smallest one at the beginning and the highest one at the end. The second thing that you want to check is if you're going to be using X, like we did yesterday, like to show how many plants in this case, we have to give a value to X. So we're going to give the value for X, and X equals to 1, okay? And the other thing is that we have to put right here where it says label, we have to write what is the unit, how are we measuring in this chart, and we're using inches, so that's what is going to go on the place that says label. You're labeling using inches, okay? So now we get started and we're going to go one by one. So we have to place this one on my line plot. So where is 2 and 1/4? I just look for it and I make an X. Okay? I continue. 1 and 3/4. 1 and 3/4. 2. You have to be very organized so you don't put 2 times the same number. 2 and 1/2. 2 and 3/4. 3. 2 and 1/4. 3/4 and 1/4. 3 and 1/4. 3 and 1/4. 2 holes and 1/2. 3. 1 hole and 3/4. 1 hole and 3/4. We have one more. 3/4 and 3 holes and 1/4. I keep on making the same mistake. 2 holes and 1/4. 2 holes and 3/4. 1 hole and 3/4. 2 holes and 1/2. 3. 2. Okay. So how do I know I put all of them? Well, if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have to have a total of 20. So let's count if that's the number of X's I have on the line plot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I'm pretty sure I have all of them right. So remember, every time I have these, what I want to figure out is the number of X and already have the total for them. So in 1 and 3/4, I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to do it here. And here I have 2. And then here I have 3. And then here I have 3. And then 2, 1, 2, 3, and 3. So that's the total number of plants that I have under each measure, right? So let's move on to the next page to see what information they're asking for now. It says letter B. How many bean plants are at least 2 holes and 1/4? I want to make something clear. When it says at least, that means that whatever is on the 2, 1, and 4th and up. Okay, so we're going to look for all of them that are at least or on the 2 holes and 1/4 and up. So let's see how many do we have. So we have 2 and 1/4, 2 and 1/4. Okay, from here at least and all the way up means taller, right? So from here we have 3 and 3, we have 6 here. 2 and 3, we have 5 and 3. 6 plus 5, we have 11, and 11 plus 3, we have 14. So for me, it will be a total of 14. So let's write it right here. Okay. How many bean plants are at least 2 holes and 1/4? I'm going to say there are 14 bean plants that are at least 2 holes and 1/4 inches tall. So remember, when it says at least, it means the minimum. At least minimum 2 and 1/4 and up. Okay, let's go to the next one. How many bean plants are taller than 2 inches and 3/4? Taller than, that means that this one does not count. It has to be taller than this. Let's see what we have. 2 and 3/4. So place yourself. Okay, here is 2 and 3/4. Let me just erase what I did before so you don't get confused. Okay, so right here, what I do have is the 2 and 3/4. But they want us the taller than that. So the next one that we have, which is higher than that, would be the 3 and the 3/1/4. How many do we have between these two? So we have 3 here and 3 here. When we add it up, our total is 6. So how many bean plants are taller than 2 holes and 3 inches? There are 6 bean plants taller than 2 holes and 3/4 inches. There are 6 bean plants taller than 2 holes and 3/4 inches. Okie dokie, let's go to the next one. What is the most frequent measurement? Most frequent. The measure that has more beans. How many bean plants were plotted for this measurement? So let's check. Which one of these in the whole chart has more bean plants? Let me just erase what we did before so it's not confusing. Okay. Okay, so which one is the most frequent one? Most of them were in this group. And what's the measure? They're asking for the measure is 1 whole and 3/4. So let's write the answer. What is the most frequent measurement? How many bean plants were plotted for this measurement? The most frequent measurement was, let me make sure, 1 whole and 3/4. 1 whole and 3/4 inches. And how many bean plants? There are 4 bean plants. Period. Okay, let's go to the next. George says that most of the bean plants are at least 3 inches tall. At least means 3 and up. Is he right? Explain your answer. Let's see if he's right. So at least 3 inches tall. Okay, I'm looking for the at least. And it should be at least is the 3 and up. So we have in between these two, we have only 6. And let's see the ones that are lower than that, which will be the rest of them, the big group here. So we have 2 plus 3, 5, 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 2, 10, and 10 plus 4, 14. So there are more on this side, which are 14. And right here, we only have 6. So is he right? I don't think George is right. Let's look at the question. It says, George says that most of the bean plants are at least 3 inches tall. Is he right? No way. No, he is not. Why? Because most of the bean plants are less than 3 inches tall. Okay, and the last one says, letter F. Savannah was absent the day the class measured the heights of their bean plants. When she returns, her plant measures 2 and 2/4 inches tall. Can Savannah plot the height of her bean plant on the class line plot? Why or why not? Okay, so this is the measure of her plant. Let's see where can we put it on the number line. Okay, so this is the measure that she has. I just wrote it down there so I can remember. So let's check. With my line plot here starts with 1 whole and 3/4, and then it moves down to 2 and 2 1/4 and 2 1/2. Okay, but here's the thing. After 2 1/4, what would come next? It will be naming all the fractions in my number line. We did that before already. 2 1/4. The next one will be 2 2/4, because as you see here is 2 3/4. What happens with these two? 1/2 and 2/4. What do you know about these two fractions? These two fractions are equal or equivalent. Remember what we learned? If we were to times this times 2, we can see that this one is equivalent by this one, because 1 times 2 equals 2 and 2 times 2 equals 4. So can we plot that fraction, this fraction on the number line? Of course we can, because 2 and 1/2, sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. Because 2 and 1/2 is the equivalent of 2 and 2/4. So this is the place where this one will go. Into one, it will be one more, and this will belong to Savannah. Okay, let's see what they're asking us, and we finish answering this question. Savannah was absent the day the class measured the heights of their bean plants. When she returns, her plant measures 2 holes and 2/4 inches tall. Can Savannah plot the height of her bean plant on the class line plot? Yes or no? So our answer is yes, she can. Because 2 and 2/4 is an equivalent for 2 and 1/2, and this is on the line plot. Okie dokie. This is all for today. I'm going to send the document that you have to solve for today's activity. Hopefully you won't have any problem, but if you do, please text me or message me, and I'll be glad to help you.